Sup? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I am Morrow, your storyteller for today, and with me I have some RPG horror stories. I mentioned before that I'm playing a Final Fantasy XIV D&D campaign. I've been low-key, obviously with players' consent, recording the sessions for that said campaign, and they've just been sitting on a hard drive and I have no idea what to do with them. I also have one of my very first, very early on sessions recorded for D&D as Morrow, as myself, and I was wondering if you'd like to see them. Not the whole session recording, but obviously have them edited and a little bit of extra animation work I've been adding on the side. Either way, let's go ahead and get to RPG horror stories for today. DM insta-kills two of my characters in the same session. Basically, I DM at a game store where we do weekly one-shots. I'm one of the more consistent DMs, and after the store cancelled our session for 2 weeks, the next time we ran a session, I actually got to play for the first time in over a month. I was telling the other DMs how excited I was to be able to play one of either two characters I made. One of them, who wasn't in the DM of the story, kept joking about how he's going to kill my character. So we were playing a module that was written for the 11th level characters, but for some reason the DMs set the player level at 9 with no magic items. After about an hour and a half of making our way to the fortress, we enter our very first combat. Even with alert feat, I roll an 11 for initiative, so I'm near the bottom. Creature made an attack against me that made me fall prone without a save, and then the DM targets my player with a death ray from Beholder, which I fail and instantly disintegrates me before I get a single turn. That sounds incredibly punishing for no reason, not even a save. Please tell me the DM was saying like, oh, I'm gonna kill your character, isn't just doing it just to kill the character. Okay, it was kind of funny. We never really had PC deaths before. Is it funny? I mean, I try to be a good sport about it, or you just be like, ha 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 guys, yeah, that was totally funny, ha ha, but you don't find it funny, you're just laughing along with everybody else because they're jerks, you know, like awkward laughing. I know about awkward laughing. I've had people like be mean to me before in the past, and I'm just kind of laughing along with them because I'm like, ha, well, I'm laughing with you guys, right? You're not laughing at me, you're laughing with me, ha 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 ha. I was naive and dumb. I already had another sheet ready, and that character entered combat when it actually came to my original character's turn, so that's fine. To being forced to flee combat because we were definitely not set up to fight those kinds of creatures at our level and party size, we'll make it to some room where we're supposed to be investigating some magic artifact. All our arcana checks do is validate that there's some sort of magical wall or secret passageway in the room, so my character goes up to it, and I trip a glyph of warding with a disintegrate spell that instantly kills me again. It's like these DMs decided, ooh, we're just gonna go ahead and punish the one player. I get if you don't feel like funny. You know, if let's say for example, this whole module or this whole session, the one shot, was all about having characters die at terrible ways and just respawn back normally, I think that'd be fine. Because I could see how like a respawn mechanic where you're just discovering traps and finding all the ways to die through the dungeon kind of thing, right? I could see that. As long as the characters get to respawn and continue, not have character die replaced with a different character and then have that character die again, that is just targeted harassment. While it was my choice to investigate the wall, we did literally make an arcana check, and all we got from a 15 result was that it was magical. The DM didn't warn me of a game that maybe we should possibly be careful about approaching this, considering she literally just killed my character. There was no hint at all this was going to be a little instant death trap. I'm a DM and I have no problem with players' deaths, but I also know how to run my games in a way that isn't shitting on a single person because it feels bad. I ended up making a third character that she said she was going to introduce, but for the last hour of the session, I literally just sat there and my third character never got introduced. Cool. Dude, some DMs just so conniving and evil. Like, this is so mean just for the sake of targeting somebody. I get it if it's like it's your buddy or something, but I mean, still, you can't just be having a game where you just target the same guy over and over and over again the whole time. Sounds like the DM either really doesn't like you or has something against you, or they just really find it hilarious to just screw you over all the time and screw around with you. I get screwing out a little bit can be fun because, I mean, at the end of the day, TTRPGs are supposed to be fun, but not if you're screwing around is just killing a player character and then a second one and then having a third one that just never gets introduced at all, and the player's just sitting around with thumb up their butt just waiting for something to happen. The worst I've ever done is make players play slip and slide in a grease-filled tunnel, literally just slipping around back and forth trying to get across. That's literally it. Nobody even took damage. They just slipped up a lot. It was just really silly. It's good to have fun as long as it doesn't turn into targeted harassment. What the hell? DM railroads us, changes us, and basically forces us to be what he wants to the point where he might as well play for or write for all of us. So I'm in a homebrew campaign with 7 other players. Yeah, DM got carried away with inviting people. Anyway, this game had been going sideways basically from the beginning. I've stuck around because he's the only person who DMs, and I haven't found a good online group. Ever. This has nothing to do with the story itself, this is just my personal advice. If you don't have a group that is actively out there and is looking for players, maybe it's time to start your own. For real, I'm not saying that like you have to be perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it, I'm an idiot. But like, as long as you understand the general basics of what DMing is like and you've seen DMing in action, and looks like you have seen DMing in action for your group, you know exactly what to do and what not to do. Horror stories is a great way, or like being in terrible DM's games is a great way to understand what kind of things you don't like about what they did, and be like, okay, well, I'm just not gonna do what they did because I clearly don't like it, and I think I could probably run that without the insert terrible act here. Not everybody wants to be a DM, obviously, but you know what? I think everybody should try. It's kind of fun. Beginning, one PC, his good or best friend, is 1 level higher than us because he's the captain of the ship. We have a chance to level up too? Nope. We're always going to be 1 level lower, unless he decides he's going to force you to be something. He forced me to take a level of Fey Warlock because he likes the Dresden File series and wanted me to be the Summer Knight. Since then, none of the abilities he's given me have worked because of mysterious reasons. Ooh, which is lovely. I guess he wanted flavor with none of the give me class features. The captain is a fighter, because of course he is, and he reaches level 5 while all of us are level 4. He's killing everything while we are basically just lackeys. DM then gives him a flame tongue longsword, because the damage gap wasn't big enough already. Why not make it huge? Also, he's now level 7, while we're all level 6 effectively. Meanwhile, he's been heavily railroading us into doing specific things, because he's writing a book and the D&D campaign is the book. We are the main characters. Unsurprisingly, he didn't really tell us and none of us consented to this. If you want to write a book, you either need Word document or pen and paper. Not D&D. Don't write books in D&D. It's an interactive story medium. Why are you writing a book? If you want to write a book, write a damn book. Not use D&D as your fan fiction book writing. The reason I say this is because D&D is a cooperative storytelling medium where everybody is involved, the DM and the players. If you're railroading somebody into doing specific actions, write a book or a screenplay. Simple as that. If you want things to happen a specific way and you want to give people a script, screenplay or a book. Simple as that. Don't forcefully tell people to be part of your book writing. Nobody wants that. People are not playing D&D for a single player railroad adventure. They're playing to be able to play a character and be able to play a role and interact and have player agency. He tramples what players want to do with their characters and forces them to do the story. He also asked for us to make countries in his world and then proceeded to change everything about our countries basically. Also, backstories. He changed them all so he could basically pair 2 of us up at a time and have our story arcs be tied together. Whatever, fine. Now, he made me play Blood Hunter, and at first I was fine with it. Cool. I chose Blood Curse of Fallen Puppet because it's dope and I thought it would be cool. Now, he describes every kill as being so brutal the ability can be used because the body is screwed up on every kill. Okay, so I asked him if I could change it. He immediately says, yeah, the Blood Curse was never going to work. I don't like it. Do Blood Curse of the Eyeless instead. I love that one. Gee, thanks man. Then his son comes back to play with us, and oh boy, while all of us main players were told to pick from the very basic races from the very first book or 2, his son gets to be a changeling. Not just any changeling, one who can magically change his clothes and armor too. And he's an assassin rogue, and the DM rules he can surprise multiple enemies per combat through hiding. Needless to say, he's been killing 90% of enemies since then. This is like a really bad fanfic turned up to 11. And at the same time, you only get favored treatment or become overpowered like crazy if you're related to the DM, I guess. Jeez. Now, we had a session where everything went kinda well, and I was feeling good. Then we came to last session. Good lord, I've lost hope. He wants me to put a super broken feat into D&D Beyond. Seriously, you get a +1 to 2 ability scores and 3 other abilities that basically add to damage, so you can give it to the captain for free while it's available to no one else. Fine, great. Then our barbarian, mind you, he is the DM's brother-in-law and we're level 6, gets a Belt of Storm Giant Strength and his backstory item. His partner, the half sorcerer, half barbarian? Oh, an amulet that gives him 5 extra hit points. Okay, great, definitely not favoritism. Yeah, this is a terrible fanfic. It's like if you're related to the DM or you know them or he likes you even an iota, he'll give you all the special, super extra, uber special items, but then everybody else just gets to sit around the back playing, not even side character. You're literally part of the background. You're literally the NPCs that get like 5 frames of animation, right? Where they just kind of stand around like this and just jolt around between back and forth and get like no animation whatsoever. You're not even the side character. You're not even the side character. You're literally the background character. You're literally the background sprite. I didn't mention this until now because I mostly forgot, but our barbarian is a new player. He keeps using unarmed attacks to do stuff like punch, kick, and headbutt, which is cool. However, every time he tries to do something unique and interesting, he's rewarded with instant death to the enemy or inspiration, etc. I try something just to be met with basically, it doesn't work. Like last night, he jumped up to punch a cloud giant in the balls. I wanted to stab the giant there, but he beat me to it. The DM laughs and gives him inspiration. Try to do something different and stab the giant in the knee to jump upwards, try to stab him in the eye. I'm a very tall character, I could actually do it based on D&D's rules of jumping. Not only does he basically just give me a pity stab in the chest, but while he describes the barbarians epically punching the giant in the balls, he describes me as basically an idiot hanging from the giant's chest. Gee, thanks. Another time, we were fighting with a warlock, and he wore a medallion as his pact. I grabbed it to see if I could yank it off. He says it's chained, so it can't break. I then ask, well, is he maybe grappled now, or had his movement reduced? And I'm met with, nope, you're just holding his medallion. Gee, I love trying something uniquely only for a congrats, you wasted your turn. I am so angry, and I've been trying to cool down, but thinking about all this shit just makes my blood boil. Well, of course you can't do anything. You're not related by blood to the DM and you're not his favorite little character ever. Duh. For real though, and this is a terrible situation. This DM sucks because no matter how much creatively you try to do things and add flavor to anything you do, everybody else gets to do it, but you don't get to do it, and it's genuinely unfair. I don't know why you're sticking around with this DM. He's terrible. He's awful. Honestly, I hear no D&D is better than bad D&D, but I'm so desperate for D&D. I just want to play, not be the goddamn DM for the 20th time in a row for a group who barely pays attention to me. Second group, only one member from the first group is in it, but at least they try their best. Thank you for reading over my rant, and I'm sorry if I bothered anyone. I've considered confronting him, but not only am I bad at confrontation, but he's probably just get upset and think I'm the problem. I don't know, I'm just tired and angry. I just want to rip my hair out. Being part of somebody else's terrible, awful fanfiction sounds awful. You really should just leave. I know you don't like the saying of no D&D is better than bad D&D, but bad D&D is just gonna make you angry. The reason you're angry and want to pull your hair out is because you're stuck in someone's god-awful, terrible, good-for-nothing fanfiction. Leave the fanfiction. You don't have to expose yourself to this torture. Play online, find other online groups, talk to your friends, other friends not part of this current group, that maybe they have something going on online where they can, I don't know, maybe have a player spot open, or they know somebody that might have an opening somewhere. There gotta be people out there that you can find to play that aren't this specific group and isn't this specific GM that forced you to be part of this stupid fanfiction they're writing. Screw the fanfiction. Who cares about the fanfiction? You need to look out for yourself and do something for yourself. So get yourself out of there. Don't let this be the thing that tears you down at the end of the day. Come on. You gotta try to get yourself out of this situation before it gets worse. I know it's not the most satisfying answer out there, but I have nothing else to give other than this answer. It sucks. I understand. I know. And I'm sorry. But you gotta get yourself out of there into a better place, into a better group. And if you don't want to DM, that's fine. There are a bunch of other online groups you can try to interact with and be part of and sign up for. There's many posts on Roll20 that you can try. There's always other ways you can try, but it's better spending your time looking for a better group than being part of a terrible group. No D&D is better than bad D&D because you can spend the time looking for a good group out there instead of spending your time being a shitty group that is just writing a terrible fan fiction. And with that, that's going to be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales tomorrow. Bye-bye.